Greetings to all and sundry, Chancellor North Wales here, time for another build vid. This time we're looking at the Tu22M Backfire. If you pause this section here, you can read all about the aircraft. So developed as a long-range strike bomber and naval strike aircraft. All the facts are listed here, the general characteristics. You can pause that and you can see it went jolly fast, carried a large amount of ordnance, and really wasn't the thing that you would want appearing on your radar scope. It's a good indication that you've probably pissed off some Russians if you spot one of those heading your way. So, lovely subject. You can see a nice Kerr killer missile underneath there. So the kit was the Esci Backfire, as you can see there, a kit from the 1980s, 1990s. 6 large sprues, good quality plastic with heavily recessed panel lines. And you can see more of the sprues there. The kit itself was fairly chunky, so large components, large subsections. No real flash, the sprue shown there, and the decals weren't bad, but looked a bit thick. So it starts off, as with all builds, with the cockpit. It was not particularly accurate, so it had a little bit of rework. There was a hatch that didn't exist that I had to cover over. I did a lot of nose weight to make sure it sat right, and that nose weight was secured with milliput putty. The swing winglet assembly could be best described as big and chunky, and the chunkiness, as I said, was an aspect of this kit in general. The wing root needed quite a bit of shimming to fill the gap. That's before I put in any filler on top of that. And it very quickly, the size of the model becomes apparent as you're bringing the elements together. I made extensive use of shimming throughout the build, using plastic art to level steps, fill seams, and fill in large recesses. I also used perfect putty, thinned down with water, and then brush applied over the shimming thin gaps, and I found that's a method that works very well. Overall, this was another big filler queen on every major joint. I used perfect putty for all of that. I made a pair of scribing templates for the absent cockpit hatches, and this provided some missing detail. The canopy fit itself was pretty bad. The build was a series of filling and sanding and rescribing, then repeating the process till the aircraft looked right. To aid layer visibility, my base coat was Tamiya XF23 light blue, and this also showed up areas that needed more filling and sanding. It also meant that the subsequent coats could be more easily seen. I applied some basic pre-shading and pre-lightening. I think the only area where it did make any difference was behind the air intakes. The lower surfaces were sprayed with Humbrol 130 white, thinned down with Tamiya X28 thinner. I masked the colour border over an area of deliberate overspray, and then sprayed the joint line to prevent bleed through. I then followed the Esci paint guide and applied Humbrol 27 Sea Grey. I wasn't happy with this, it just didn't look right, and this was going to be a bone of contention, but I didn't want to redo it because it didn't go back down too badly. To adjust the tone, I mixed Tamiya blue, grey and white, and this seemed to get it a little bit closer, so there was a lot of use of filters with this, oversprays and just progressive tone adjustment. With the masking removed, the backfire does look like quite a serious predator. I do like this appearance. After a coat of Johnson's Clear, I began applying Flory Pro Modeler Wash in sections, and this was about a good week's worth of modelling time, just doing it and redoing it. And you can see there along the main seam lines. So the penalty line work was mixed with, again, spraying another tone to filter the upper surfaces. This was followed with more Johnson's Clear. I had a good few runs with that stuff. The undercarriage was nice and solid, large multi-wheel bogies, but the main thing was it supports the model. I don't think this is going to be one that collapses under its own weight. The decals were thick and did not sit down well. Microsol didn't really help on this. I even chipped one and had to sort of hand paint part of the red star. So I spent quite a bit of time using the Tamiya weathering powders. Maybe I've overdone this on it, but I'm reasonably happy with the result. I think the model looks okay. It's faded. I like it for weathering. And there we have her done. Finished. Quite happy with that. Nice, interesting and large project. Parked there next to a MiG-29 with the Tu-22M near it, so you can see this is quite a sizable model. There's the underside with the kitchen anti-shipping missile, and a few more views of it. You can see really the Tamiya weathering powders on the tail as well. So, another view there. I also used the weathering powders over the wings, and that seems to get me a little bit happier with this model. The display base you see there is actually a shelf above a bookcase that I have done as a small airfield. So that's where my large Russian aircraft will be going. So overall, despite the issues with the colour, this was an enjoyable build, and certainly its Cold War vintage shows due to the accuracy problem, but it still looks like a Tu-22M. It's great to have a large aircraft in the collection, and there'll be more large aircraft. If you basically get the Trumpeter one if you can. And this is basically the summary of that last section in Russian. Main advice is, guys, if you find this kit, yep, okay, but Trumpeter do a very nice Tu-22M too, which has different air intakes, and I think that's a much better kit to get. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Happy modelling. God bless. All the best. Chancellor North Wales signing out.